Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal walks out of Tihar Jail after 50 days in prison. Arvind Kejriwal walks out of Tihar Jail. The Delhi Chief Minister was granted bail by a division bench of the Supreme Court, which said that these are extraordinary circumstances. Arvind Kejriwal is all set to head straight to the Chief Minister's residence, and then he's likely to address his party cadre. Tremendous enthusiasm in the Aam Aadmi Party and the opposition India bloc. Arvind Kejriwal is likely to campaign in elections in Delhi and in Punjab. Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann and Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's wife Sunita Kejriwal reached the airport to receive Arvind Kejriwal. There you see Aam Aadmi Party leaders and supporters with the flag of the Aam Aadmi Party with a picture of Arvind Kejriwal very prominently, and Sunita Kejriwal waving to the crowds after Arvind Kejriwal was released from gate number 3, interim bail till the 1st of June. And that's the first image. That's the first image that you see of Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal being released from Tihar Jail. He's an accused in the liquor case. Arvind Kejriwal has been given conditional bail. He's not supposed to speak about this case. He's not supposed to influence witness. He's not supposed to go to the Delhi Chief Minister's office. He's not supposed to go to Delhi's secretariat. And there, I love Arvind Kejriwal posters and banners coming up in and around the Tihar Central Jail premises and outside that area. Mahabal Mishra, of course, is an Aam Aadmi a candidate in Delhi elections, and his campaign trail, all Aam Aadmi Party leaders and supporters have reached the Tihar Jail to escort Arvind Kejriwal. That was the plan. So Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal spent 50 days in prison. He's now been released. He of course has to surrender on the 2nd of June. He's supposed to return to Tihar Jail. His lawyers sought bail for him, but it's only an interim bail, a conditional bail that's been granted. And Shreya Chatterjee now joins us from Tihar Jail. Shreya, he was likely to be released around 7 and it's happened actually dot on time. Shreya, where is the Chief Minister headed now?
Well, Gaurav, the Chief Minister will now be headed to his residence in civil lines.
Hello.
You can see the kind of celebratory mood outside Tihar Jail once Arvind Kejriwal has stepped out. You can see Saurabh Bharadwaj constantly moderating the crowd. Huge number of people here at the Tihar premises. Aam Aadmi supporters can be seen in huge numbers. These people somewhere down the line very excited that when Delhi is all slated for the Lok Sabha elections, Arvind Kejriwal comes out at that point of time. You can see how it's almost a campaign mood right now for the Aam Aadmi Party. But Arvind Kejriwal is out from Tihar Jail on interim bail and headed to his residence at civil lines.
Okay, so he's heading to civil lines. Saurabh Bharadwaj here. Initially, it was said, Shreya, Aam Aadmi Party leaders said that he's likely to address crowds either right outside jail or his residence or maybe the Aam Aadmi Party office. No clarity on that as we hear these slogans of Arvind Kejriwal, Zindabad. Shreya, we are being told that people are being asked to move.
Gaurav, what we are learning right now that in all likelihood, Arvind Kejriwal will be addressing his supporters and the media at his residence. Here there was a plan and a stage created, but because of the roadblock at this stage, right now the plan has changed. You can see Saurabh Bharadwaj constantly directing the supporters to spread across the road because Arvind Kejriwal, as planned, is not coming out from gate number 3 where the arrangements for a roadshow was made. Now he's directly headed to his residence where he will address both the media and his supporters. But huge number of supporters of the Aadmi party, that includes the Lok Sabha candidate from West Delhi, Mahaval Mishra, who's in campaign mode already and using at its best because Tihar falls in West Delhi zone. You can see the kind of arrangements that Aadmi party already made at a short time to welcome Arvind Kejriwal outside Tihar Jail.
After 51 days, Arvind Kejriwal has walked out of Tihar Jail on conditional bail to be able to campaign for the Lok Sabha elections. A very key moment in this election battle. Will he be able to at all impact the Lok Sabha elections in Delhi and Punjab, Haryana, where the Aadmi party has presence? How significant is this? How do things change in the next 2 weeks? We look at that very carefully. Ashutosh Mishra joins us from the residence of the Delhi Chief Minister, which is where supporters of the Aadmi party have gathered to listen to their leader who comes out of jail after 51 days. Ashutosh has also been tracking the strategy meetings inside the AAP where they're determining what to do next now that Kejriwal unexpectedly has got bail and is heading to his residence. Ashutosh, give our viewers a sense of the strategy being drawn up for Arvind Kejriwal over the next 2 weeks for the Delhi elections and what's happening at his residence at the moment.
Well, the appropriate word, Rahul, I could find at the moment is the fireworks. For the next 2-3 weeks, you'll only hear the fireworks from Arvind Kejriwal. An electoral bond could be a top agenda. Remember, the court has imposed a condition that he will not talk about his case. But that was the similar case with Sanjay Singh. And so far, Sanjay Singh did not talk about his case at all. But rather, he was speaking about the case of Manish Sisodia and Arvind Kejriwal. Similarly, Arvind Kejriwal need not to speak about him, but electoral bond, Magunta Reddy, Sharad Reddy, funding too, everything that comes on the agenda, and moreover the consolidated campaign of the Aadmi party, as this party have been contested on one of the political startup in 10 years, and look at the success. And clearly this is just extraordinary situation for the Aadmi party, because this will scale up the magnitude of campaign of the Aadmi party, which was totally demoralized the day Arvind Kejriwal was arrested. There was a power booster when Sanjay Singh got bail, but what is happening, you can sense a picture what is happening. Entire road, this all being decorated to welcome Arvind Kejriwal. This is CM's residence, and the day, it's been near more than a month, he was arrested, he was in Tihar Jail, and the day when he's coming back home, it is being well decorated. Few number of only supporters have been permitted here because there could be a situation. And remember the number of crowd, almost all the MLAs, candidates, Punjab Chief Minister, his wife Sunita Kejriwal, everyone they went to Tihar Jail to receive Arvind Kejriwal. And it's a matter of 60 minutes that CM will be reaching here. Probably there will be one gathering. Eventually there was a plan to go to party headquarters and then address the party workers, then cadre. But clearly he will not be really in hurry. He has the days, and since he need not to go to CM secretariat, CM office, only and only full-time politics, full-time campaign. Tomorrow,
so
10
Akshay
o'clock,
Marathe joins us. Akshay Marathe is the leader of the Aadmi party. Akshay, how significant a moment do you see this as being when it comes to the impact this could have on the campaign? Is this something the Aadmi party was expecting, or has this come as a bit of a surprise to the AAP itself?
Rahul, first of all, I want to start by saying a huge thank you to the Supreme Court of India for restoring a modicum of hope and an ray of hope in the justice system. Because what happened when Arvind Kejriwal was arrested was such a shocking thing to happen to any electoral democracy, where on the cusp of an election, you arrest a major opposition leader, and that's why there were parallels to Putin's Russia, there were parallels to Erdogan's Turkey. But I'm very grateful that we live in a country where there is a justice system alive and kicking, and Arvind Kejriwal ji has got his deserved relief from the judicial system. So let me start by acknowledging that.
No, but would you also acknowledge that most of the time the Aam Aadmi Party is complaining that systems have been corrupted, corroded, that they don't do their job? Now when AAP has got bail or when you win elections, then suddenly the same institutional systems you keep questioning the veracity of seem to be functioning just fine.
Rahul, clearly there is no black and white. There are shades of grey, and I can tell you that democracy is killed by the death comes by 1,000 cuts. And today one of those cuts has been healed by the justice system, and that is what gives us hope. It doesn't mean that the fight to save our constitution and save our democracy is over, because we all know Hemant Soren ji is still in jail, Manish Sisodia is still in jail, and lots of opposition leaders are in jail. This is a big victory for Aam Aadmi Party, but I think it is a bigger victory for the democracy and electorate of this country, because at the end of the day, what is an election about? It is a contest between ideas, contest between platforms, between 2 or 3 or multiple parties. And in this case, the ruling party had attempted to thwart that process by taking out a major player of Indian politics, Arvind Kejriwal, who has a national figure. Whether you like him or not, he is a nationally recognized figure. Aam Aadmi Party is a national party. And to have arrested him 1 month before the election was an absolute atrocity that the BJP was committing. And I'm very grateful that he will now campaign. He will campaign very strongly. We have the Delhi and the Punjab Lok Sabha seats that are coming up in the next few weeks. And he's an extremely popular leader in these states. He will make a huge dent to the Bharatiya Janata Party.
Okay.
And I'm sure that all other opposition parties will also invite
the Aam Aadmi Party for us. Preeti, give us the story behind the scenes. Is this something AAP was expecting, or were they anxious that maybe Kejriwal will be denied bail today?
Well, Rahul, to be fair, where I've been speaking to my sources within the Aam Aadmi Party, there was a fair amount of anxiety. They were very anxious because right after Sanjay Singh, that was a big boost for them, but they saw multiple setbacks legally. So for them, they thought that the observations were spot on, and we've seen them over the course of the last 1 week, but they were a little apprehensive whether the order will follow through in terms of interim bail. Once it did, yes, there was a sense of shock and there was a sense of deep elation, because Rahul, for the Aam Aadmi Party, managing without Arvind Kejriwal was bravado, it was bluster, but they knew that they needed him. He's not just the power center where the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned. He's their, the face of their campaign. He's the person who's practically on the ticket wherever the Aam Aadmi Party is fighting. He's also now a face for the Aam Aadmi Party going forward where the India Alliance is concerned. So understandably, yes. I also want to, tell our viewers and differentiate. When we saw Sanjay Singh come out of jail, we saw this massive amount of, the cadre coming in, pomp show, that speech in the middle of the night at the Aam Aadmi Party headquarters. Right now, there was deliberations on how to handle Arvind Kejriwal's release. And there seems to be an understanding within the Aam Aadmi Party that to underplay it. And that has been the arrest of Arvind Kejriwal as well. If you've seen Arvind Kejriwal's body language ever since he's been arrested, there's no, putting up the fist like we've seen possibly with the K. Kavita. He's been somber. He's gone about the, the motions, and we'll expect the same. Where he will come now to the fore in a big way is when the campaign begins. And that's not just going to be limited to, say, that 1 seat of Kurukshetra in Haryana, to the seats of Punjab, or to the 7 seats of Delhi. We'll see him campaign on the stage of the India Alliance as well. Sanjay Singh has been out. Last 2-3 days, even though they were a little apprehensive, but he's been the one who's been mediating, because ever since Raghav Chadha has been in the United Kingdom, mind you to remember, Raghav Chadha was the person who was supposed to be the coordinator from the Aam Aadmi Party, where the India Alliance is concerned. At that time, Sanjay Singh was in jail. So Sanjay Singh has taken over that responsibility. The last 2 days, there have been deliberations within the India Alliance on how to build momentum, from and milk momentum where this political development is concerned.
Okay.
Last time, Rahul, if you saw, when Arvind Kejriwal was arrested, there seems to be an understanding within the India Alliance that gave a fillip to the India Alliance cause. And now AAP and the Alliance hoping this will add momentum.
Okay, they're hoping that this will add momentum. Shreya Chatterjee is at Tihar, where Arvind Kejriwal was for the last 50 days. Have you picked up from your sources in Tihar any information about the kind of inmate that the Delhi Chief Minister was? How did he spend these 51 days? What do we know beyond what's in the public domain, Shreya?
Well, Well, Rahul, first and foremost, I want to take you the visuals outside Tihar's gate number 3. Arvind Kejriwal, after coming out from gate number 4, he's come at gate number 3 where all his supporters have gathered. He's now trying to get a word with the supporters. You can see those visuals where Arvind Kejriwal is right now standing in front of his supporters outside gate number 3.
I think we'll start hearing him in a moment from now. So let's just for a moment try and capture what's happening at Arvind Kejriwal's residence.
आज आपके बीच में आके बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है। आज आपके बीच में आके बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है। मैंने कहा था ना मैं जल्दी आऊंगा। मैंने कहा था ना जल्दी आऊंगा। आ गया। सबसे पहले मैं हनुमान जी के चरणों में वंदना करना चाहता हूं। हनुमान जी के आशीर्वाद से आज मैं आप सब लोगों के बीच में हूं। मैं सब लोगों का शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूं। देश भर के करोड़ों लोगों ने अपनी दुआएं, अपना आशीर्वाद मुझे भेजा। मैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजेस का शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूं, जिनकी वजह से आज मैं आप लोगों के बीच में हूं। आप लोगों से एक ही निवेदन है, हमें सबको मिलके देश को तानाशाही से बचाना है। मैं तन मन धन से लड़ रहा हूं, संघर्ष कर रहा हूं तानाशाही के खिलाफ, लेकिन 140 करोड़ लोगों को तानाशाही से लड़ना पड़ेगा। आज आपके बीच में आके बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है। कल सवेरे 11 बजे कनॉट प्लेस हनुमान मंदिर में मिलेंगे। हनुमान मंदिर के हनुमान जी के आशीर्वाद लेने जाएंगे, हनुमान जी के दर्शन करने जाएंगे। और कल 11 बजे कनॉट प्लेस हनुमान मंदिर में मिलेंगे, हनुमान मंदिर के हनुमान जी के आशीर्वाद लेने जाएंगे, हनुमान जी के दर्शन करने जाएंगे। और कल 1 बजे पार्टी ऑफिस में प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस होगी। कल 11 बजे कनॉट प्लेस हनुमान मंदिर में सब लोग आना, ज्यादा से ज्यादा हनुमान जी के दर्शन करेंगे। और 1 बजे पार्टी ऑफिस में प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस होगी। आप सब लोगों का तहे दिल से बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया।
Arvind Kejriwal, his speech far less dramatic or flamboyant than the speech made by Sanjay Singh when he'd come out of jail. How do you compare, Akshay Marathe, the two strategies? Why I would have thought he'd go on for longer, make a more elaborate speech like Sanjay Singh was very charged up when he came out. In contrast, your boss, the Chief Minister, holding his punches till 1 p.m. tomorrow. What do you make of this?
Rahul, Arvind Kejriwal is a master of this game, as he has shown time and again. If he has thought of a strategy, then I'm sure it will take the opposition and the Bharatiya Janata Party by surprise. Look, he's a phoenix who has always risen from the ashes. The BJP has tried to burn him, destroy him time and time again. He has gone to Tihar in the past also, if I might remind you. 10 years ago, he had been sent to Tihar over a petty case. And he had come out like this and fought the 2015 election against the BJP strongly and got 67 out of 70 seats. I am confident that even this time in jail must have given him the perspective and the strategic wherewithal to take on the might of the Bharatiya Janata Party, because like he mentioned today, Rahul, this is not a fight for Aam Aadmi Party or for our own existence. It is a fight for the existence of our democracy. It is not personal for him. It is about saving India's electoral system, saving India's democracy, so that our future generations have elections to vote for meaningfully. We cannot have a system where there is a one-party rule. We cannot have a system where the ruling party becomes so powerful that it completely demolishes the opposition.
Okay.
And that is what Arvind Kejriwal's message is. हम तानाशाही के खिलाफ लड़ेंगे, पूरे देश को लड़ना पड़ेगा. It is not just Aam Aadmi Party's responsibility, it is every citizen of India's responsibility. I think that's a very strong message that
Let's now get a word in from the opposition camp. We've got Raghav Awasthi of the BJP joining us. Raghav, the ED put up a very firm case explaining why this could become a precedent for other leaders who were in jail, why he shouldn't be given bail, how an additional case was being filed against him, more explosive details in that. Despite all of that, the Supreme Court has given Kejriwal bail. From a political point of view, the legal battle will fight itself. But from a political point of view, this isn't good news for the BJP.
So I think we have to be very clear about one thing. As of now, I think in the last Lok Sabha, had it not been for this one by-poll that the Aam Aadmi Party won, they had exactly 0 seats. So from the point of view of Lok Sabha elections, which is what are being contested at the moment, the Aam Aadmi Party is not really that important. They can't also be compared to a party that has 303 seats in the outgoing Lok Sabha. So that is one political aspect of it. The other political aspect of it is this, yes, I really do feel that there is no consistent jurisprudence in this regard that has been laid down till now. There are many political leaders who had in the past applied for bail under similar circumstances, but their bail applications have been denied. I think one example that comes to mind, I think, is Jagan Mohan Reddy, who had taken similar grounds. Then there is, of course, the aspect of what the court has in fact said. If we actually go through the conditions of the order, then Mr. Kejriwal doesn't come across in such flattering light. We have to understand that despite the fact that this man continues to hang on to the post of Chief Minister because he's probably scared that his acolytes within the party will start fighting between themselves. The Supreme Court has very clearly said that he cannot sign any official files or meet any witnesses. And this is only for 21 days at a time when more than half the election is already done. And I think, I will be very honest, right? There are 90 odd seats that are going to the polls on Monday, and around 40 of them are in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. So we should probably focus on that rather than on this leader who's supposed to lead a party that is relevant only.
Okay, let Akshay Marathi respond to this because I have some details on this. Out of the 22 seats the Aam Aadmi Party is fighting, on 4 seats the elections have already been held. He'll have about 12 days to campaign in Delhi, where the party is fighting elections on 4 seats. There isn't that much time. In Haryana, you've got Kurukshetra where you're fighting an election. In Punjab, you're fighting on all 13. So there isn't that much time. So the BJP's hope is it's come so late in this game that there isn't that much time to make a material difference.
First of all, Rahul, I think the arrest of Arvind Kejriwal itself had given a huge fillip to the opposition parties because it gave a very uniting message. All opposition parties actually rallied in support of Arvind Kejriwal, and that actually must have set off alarm bells in the Bharatiya Janata Party that this opposition alliance has suddenly come together and started to speak in the same voice. And I think Arvind Kejriwal's release now will only add to that, because Arvind Kejriwal he's not just a Delhi, Punjab-based leader. He leads a national party. He has MLAs in Gujarat.
All that's
he has
true, but
MLAs
you have to make
Goa.
some very sharp choices. You have 12 days left in Delhi. Does he go outside, campaign for the India Alliance in a state like Uttar Pradesh? Does he conserve his time? That's the point that Raghav is making. Okay, so you got lucky, you got bail, but there isn't that much time left. You don't have too much ammunition which you can spray around. You have to concentrate it and take some very key decisions on where you wish to campaign and where you wish to spend your time.
Absolutely, Rahul. In an ideal world, he should have been allowed to campaign every day in the last few months. Just like Amit Shah, Narendra Modi, JP Nadda have been addressing 4 or 5 rallies a day, Arvind Kejriwal, as a rightful leader in the opposition, should have been given the same opportunity. But I take your point. There is limited time and he will have to use it judiciously. But I'm confident, like I said again, I'm confident that his strategic ability far outsmarts the Bharatiya Janata Party time and time again. So he will make the right call. He will make the calls that will send jitters down the spines of the Bharatiya Janata Party, and they might show a brave face today that, oh, he's not a relevant leader, he's not relevant in the upcoming elections, and they will smile sheepishly on television. If he was so irrelevant, why did you arrest him on the eve of the election? The proof of the pudding lies in your arrest. Don't arrest him, he will not be relevant. You have done everything to prove Arvind Kejriwal's worth in this country. You have given him a national stature, even an international stature at this point. The whole world's media, Rahul, has put out published stories today. You should check with the Guardian.
Raghav Awasthi is laughing away like crazy. He's mocking the fact that you're saying he's got international stature. But, you know, Raksha Marathe is right that he's being reported on internationally. All the international press saying Indian opposition leader arrested. In terms of optics, you know, a prominent opposition leader getting arrested in the middle of elections, it's bad optics. There's no doubt about it. Raghav Awasthi.
As it happens, my spouse is also a journalist who works for the international media, and she actually works for German state radio. So I can assure you that there are a lot of these international media outlets that have reached saturation point when it comes to viewership in their respective countries. So they now look to get some sort of eyeballs from India. And I think this is...
Stay with me for a moment. The Home Minister is speaking to one of my colleagues, Anupam Mishra. He's in West Bengal at this time and he's responding also to this bail of Arvind Kejriwal. Let's listen to the Union Home Minister.
चौथे चरण के लिए आखिरी दौर का इस वक्त चुनाव प्रचार चल रहा है और अमित शाह इस वक्त आसनसोल लोकसभा क्षेत्र के रानीगंज में हैं। सर, सबसे पहला सवाल आपसे होगा, बंगाल में 10 सीटें पर चुनाव हो चुका है, देश भर में 285 सीटों पर चुनाव हो चुका है, तो क्या आकलन है, कितनी सीटें आ सकती हैं?
देखिए, हम 400 पार करेंगे और बंगाल में हम 30 से ज्यादा सीटें जीतेंगे।
अरविंद केजरीवाल को आज जमानत मिली है, वो कह रहे हैं सारे देश में।
आपने ऑर्डर पढ़ा है? ये जमानत नहीं है, टेम्पररी बेल है। 1 तारीख को फिर से सरेंडर होना है।
वो कोई प्रभाव पड़ेगा क्या? वो कह रहे हैं सारे देश में चुनाव हम प्रचार करेंगे, ऐसा कोई प्रभाव पड़ सकता है?
नहीं, तो वो कर ही सकते हैं, इसमें क्या है? बहुत सारे लोग प्रचार करें, वो भी करें। और जब जब प्रचार करने जाएंगे लोगों को शराब घोटाला याद आएगा।
बंगाल में संदेशखाली का मुद्दा काफी अहम रहा है। बंगाल में संदेशखाली का मुद्दा, आपको क्या लगता है, बंगाल में जो संदेशखाली का मुद्दा उठा है वो पूरे बंगाल में प्रभाव डालेगा?
निश्चित रूप से प्रभाव डालेगा। वोट बैंक की पॉलिटिक्स के लिए धर्म के आधार पर महिलाओं को पर सालों तक अत्याचार चलता रहा। ये महिला मुख्यमंत्री कुछ नहीं करी, उनको शर्म आनी चाहिए।
अभी टीएमसी कह रही है कि ये सब साजिश थी, षड्यंत्र था। टीएमसी कह रही है कि ये साजिश थी, षड्यंत्र था बीजेपी का।
देखिए, टीएमसी की पैटर्न है, पहले जुर्म करो और फिर जुर्म को गलत साबित करने के लिए और जुर्म करो, वही पैटर्न पर जा रही है। मगर हाई कोर्ट, सीबीआई की जांच और जनता और महिलाएं, ये सब झूठ बोल रहे हैं क्या?
आसनसोल दो बार बीजेपी ने जीता, दुर्गापुर भी बीजेपी ने जीता। इस बार आपको क्या लगता है, बंगाल में जो सीटें मिलेंगी उसमें मार्जिन बढ़ेगा? मार्जिन क्या बढ़ेगा आपको लगता है?
निश्चित, खड़ा रखो, निश्चित रूप से बढ़ेगा।
Okay, so that's the Union Home Minister speaking about West Bengal and reacting to the release of Arvind Kejriwal, saying it's a very interim bail order. He has to surrender on the 1st of June, also saying that the more he campaigns, the more people will be reminded of the liquor scam. I want to show you what Arvind Kejriwal said while he was en route to the Chief Minister's residence. A very brief public appearance in case you missed it. Here is the Delhi Chief Minister in his first public comments after being released on bail.
कनॉट प्लेस हनुमान मंदिर में सब लोग आना, ज्यादा से ज्यादा हनुमान जी के दर्शन करेंगे और 1 बजे पार्टी ऑफिस में प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस होगी। आप सब लोगों का तहे दिल से बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। हनुमान जी के दर्शन करने जाएंगे और कल 1 बजे पार्टी ऑफिस में प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस होगी। कल 11 बजे कनॉट प्लेस हनुमान मंदिर में सब लोग आना, ज्यादा से ज्यादा हनुमान जी के दर्शन करेंगे और 1 बजे पार्टी ऑफिस में प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस होगी। आप सब लोगों का तहे दिल से बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया।
That's the Delhi Chief Minister speaking. Very brief. You know, Sanjay Singh, when he came out, spoke for far longer. It was a very impassioned speech. He's holding his fire for the time being. It'll be interesting to see if he speaks again. Ashutosh Mishra joins us. Ashutosh, at the Delhi Chief Minister's residence, I'm told the preparations for fireworks. Will he also be speaking again, or does he now wish to speak only after the Hanuman Mandir visit at the press conference tomorrow afternoon?
Well, fireworks is already underway, Rahul, at CM's residence, and for last 10-15 minutes it's just non-stop, and it will continue till he arrives. As far as CM's briefing was concerned, he already, spoken and addressed the crowd that were gathered outside Tihar Jail. More than that, very unlikely that he'll speak further. Because remember, they know when and how to speak, and Arvind Kejriwal is an expert, the master of the communication. When he know when to speak and what to speak. So tomorrow you'll see a high voltage optics, Arvind Kejriwal going to Hanuman temple. Remember, Arvind Kejriwal has always presented himself as a Hanuman Bhakt. And you were talking about Sanjay Singh when he came out, he spoke at length, and Arvind Kejriwal made it very brief. That was very, unprecedented situation for the Aam Aadmi Party. One of such leader getting a bail in the PMLA case, because they have been trying for really hard for a year. Manish Sisodia would not come out. When it comes to Sanjay Singh addressed it. Arvind Kejriwal comes out, gives it really a booster dose, because more than just campaigning on 22 seats. Remember, Sanjay Singh, as we speak, was campaigning in Maharashtra. And imagine the rallies that Sanjay Singh carried was not only in a Mumbai-like pockets, he carried rally in Satara, Kolhapur, all these pockets where you have a Maratha-dominated population. So where he addressed the rallies for Uddhav Thackeray, for Sharad Pawar, for the Congress Party, subsequently shared stage several times in Uttar Pradesh for Samajwadi Party. Now Sanjay Singh from the Aam Aadmi Party is the most demanded leader in the India bloc to other states. Whether that will be the case with the Arvind Kejriwal, because you mentioned about certain pockets which is limited. 1 seat, Kurukshetra, where Aam Aadmi Party is contesting. 4 in Delhi. Of course, he will campaign for all 7. So that means a big responsibility on Arvind Kejriwal. Subsequently on 13 parliamentary seats of Punjab, where Aam Aadmi Party is contesting. So stakes are high, though the numbers are very less. And clearly there will be demand for Arvind Kejriwal also to campaign.
So Preeti Chowdhury joins us. She's tracking the strategy being drawn up by the Aam Aadmi Party leaders around Kejriwal's release and how to make the best use of his time. Preeti, what can you tell us? How are they planning to optimize whatever little time Kejriwal has? Less than 2 weeks to go before campaigning in Delhi ends.
But, optics-wise, they have been thinking about it, Rahul. Like I told you earlier, the marked difference in Arvind Kejriwal coming out of jail and what we saw at Sanjay Singh. We saw a massive cavalcade, Sanjay Singh on top of a car, then at the party headquarters, then going and meeting Sunita Kejriwal, then meeting Manish Sisodia's wife. All those optics there, you will not see this time around. They will be understated, like he has been through his arrest. You'll see him muted down a lot. But when the campaign comes, he's going to go all guns blazing. Like what we mentioned earlier, Sanjay Singh, who's now taken the role of the coordinator with the India Alliance in the absence of Raghav Chadha, since the last 2 days has been speaking to the India Alliance. In the next 1 week, what we can expect, number one, we can expect a massive rally of the India Alliance where Arvind Kejriwal will be on stage. They are hoping to build momentum at the back of it, not just, of course, the Aam Aadmi Party needs to look at their star campaigner campaigning in the 7 seats of Delhi for those 3 of the Congress as well. 1 seat in Kurukshetra, then all the seats in Punjab. But away from that, as a national face, if you saw Arvind Kejriwal began that very short muted speech in front of the Tihar Jail with Tanashahi Khatam Karni Hai. That is, what's going to carry forth where the India Alliance is concerned. So one rally in the next 1 week, what we can expect of the India Alliance
No, but
is
the
what
moment
we're
that
getting
the
idea
opposition
about.
and
then,
Arvind Kejriwal starts pitching it as Tanashahi Khatam Karni Hai, Raghav Awasthi, then it comes down to whether people believe there is Tanashahi or not. If people believe that India is becoming increasingly autocratic, dictatorial, then it hurts the BJP. So now it's really about building the narrative. It's about which party can build a narrative. And narratives typically in elections, in politics, take time to build. Akshay Marathi, this idea that Tanashahi khatam karni hai is an idea that takes time to seep into the psyche of the voter if they actually believe by what they see around them that there is increasing autocracy. Now you're at the peak of the campaign, you're trying to push this idea, trying to make it happen is not that easy.
Rahul, is that question for me?
Yes, Akshay Marathi, it is. I'm saying there's very little time left to seed this idea that now India is becoming autocratic.
Rahul, I can assure you that every section of society, not just politicians, businessmen, white-collar employees, service class members, working class people, everybody can see and feel the kind of fear and scaremongering that the Bharatiya Janata Party engages in. They do not have any electoral pitch to play. If you notice the Prime Minister's speeches, it is all about scaring
stay with me for a
people.
moment.
It is all
Sanjay
about
Singh's wife is speaking at this moment. I want to listen to what she's saying.
क्या कहना चाहेंगे? रिहाई हो गई है
आज। बहुत बड़े खुशी की बात है कि आज बड़े भाई अरविंद केजरीवाल जी बाहर आ गए और उम्मीद करते हैं न्यायपालिका से कि दोनों भाई और बाहर आ जाएंगे।
That's Sanjay Singh's wife saying that Sanjay Singh and Arvind Kejriwal are now out of jail. She's hoping that the same can happen to Manish Sisodia as well. Remember, the Aam Aadmi Party has been facing a lot of legal trouble. Now, the critical question at this moment is what impact does this have on elections 20th May, 25th, and then on the 1st of June. Ashutosh joins us. Ashutosh, given that there is less time left in the Delhi campaign, there's still some time to go for Punjab. What impact do you think Kejriwal's release at this juncture in the campaign can potentially have on what happens in Delhi and the Lok Sabha elections?
I think, Rahul, this is going to be a huge impact on the Delhi election as well in the Punjab election for the simple reason because Arvind Kejriwal is a master of communication and he's next only to Narendra Modi. So just after getting out of the jail, look what kind of words he has used. He has used that it's a dictatorship. He has spoken that he will go to Hanuman temple and unke darshan karenge. Now, if you relate these two things, this makes clear sense that he doesn't want to. He's already speaking politics. He's already speaking in terms of electoral politics, and that's what matters. Because today he will be presenting himself as a living embodiment of political victimhood. That look what Supreme Court has said. Supreme Court has clearly asked that why he was not arrested 6 months earlier or after elections. So for that ED had no answers. And that is what this verdict is all about. This is not about on the merit of the case. Neither this is a permanent bail to the Arvind Kejriwal. This is only interim bail. And why? Because election commission, because Supreme Court has clearly understood and underlined the fact that he's arrested just before the election. This has something to do with
Raghav, respond to what Ashutosh is saying, because there are very few players in Indian politics who can play the victim card quite as well as Arvind Kejriwal can. It worked for him in the past. It's about building a narrative, making a mahal. He'll play victim card. Now it's then for the voters of Delhi, Punjab, Haryana to decide whether they buy that victim card or not.
All I will say one thing, his party has tried, I think, twice to contest elections in Haryana, and both times they came a cropper. They came an absolute cropper. This party has also contested Lok Sabha elections twice in Delhi. And they drew, their tally has, the combined tally over these two Lok Sabha elections was 0. So I think we are giving him way too much importance. Yes, he is slightly relevant in Punjab. And even in Punjab now, I think his government is facing huge headwinds in the form of anti-incumbency because everybody is sick of his government. One last point I would like to make, it's all very well to, cherry pick what the Supreme Court has said. We should also look at the operative part of the Supreme Court's order. The operative part of the Supreme Court's order is very clear that he's not supposed to influence witnesses. That is the first thing.
No, but Ashutosh, you've run campaigns yourself. You've fought an election. The fact is it takes time to build mahal. This election is deeply set. Once the election is set, it's not like a Ferrari or a car which you can just turn with your hand on the steering wheel. It's like a battle tank. It takes time to get going, and once it's going in a particular direction, it's very difficult to change course midway.
See, Rahul, the 2 points. One point is simple, that 2 months back, nobody had given any chance to the India alliance. The election has completely changed. Today, Mr. Modi is defending. BJP is, I'm not saying whether he's going to win or lose. That's a different fact altogether. Second point is, I agree up to a certain point to what Raghav has said, that Aam Aadmi Party alone is not a national alternative, and the Punjab and the Delhi voters have shown this. But today, Aam Aadmi Party is part of an alliance which is projecting itself as a national alternative. So that is where Arvind Kejriwal will make a huge difference. And look at this. Since the days of his arrest, Aam Aadmi Party has been meeting with the people and convincing that how Arvind Kejriwal has been arrested. So it's not that Arvind Kejriwal has to start from fresh. The pitch is already ready. The Sanjay Singh has done.
But here's the problem, Raghav Awasthi. You kind of brought it upon yourself. If you hadn't arrested him, and I'll just have the data, which if we add the vote share of the AAP and the Congress on all the 7 seats of Delhi, there's still a big gap between them and the BJP, even if every person who voted AAP and Congress vote for this alliance. It usually doesn't work like that, but even if that happens, there's still a substantial gap. By arresting him, you've now created this X factor, where people now, if they decide to be sympathetic, that can change the dynamics of the Delhi election. There you see, virtually in every seat, you're seeing Chandni Chowk, Northeast, you're seeing New Delhi, East Delhi, South Delhi, everywhere. There's a gap, even if you add all those votes. And now suddenly there's an X factor, and we've seen in Delhi, between Assembly and Lok Sabha, there's a high transferability of votes between BJP and AAP to BJP. So there are lots of people who are used to voting both for AAP and BJP. Suddenly you've created uncertainty, which from a media perspective is great. It was a fantastic story, makes the election very exciting. And you know, now Akshay Marathe and his team has to fight, you have to fight, but you've really brought this upon yourself.
I don't think I would say that. Like, if you look at, as you correctly pointed out, you look at the 2019 results, the BJP polled, I think, 52 or 53% of the vote in Delhi. So, had it been a wave election, like I always say that in wave elections, that's when this 5 percentage point drop or swing happens, right? So, this is definitely not a wave election. And I will keep repeating this, Mr. Kejriwal is not a contender for Prime Ministership. He was never a contender for Prime Ministership. What he did by conceding...
No, forget being a contender for Prime Ministership, boss. You're fighting right now for every seat. In Delhi, Punjab, Haryana, there's a fight. There's a real fight. You made that fight more complicated by first arresting him. Now in the middle of the campaign, obviously the plan didn't go as per schedule. He's been released on bail. Now you've got to fight in every seat. In Haryana, there are headwinds. In Punjab, in any case, it's largely AAP versus Congress. And in Delhi now, the battle is tougher than it would have been otherwise.
I actually don't agree with this. Our investigating agencies are independent. All institutions in this country are independent. Had they not been independent, he would not have been granted bail.
No, but the likes of Ashutosh and many others keep saying, you know, institutions are finished, courts have been bought out. Now suddenly in the middle of the campaign, he gets bail. If the government could fix it, you know, this wouldn't have happened. So this whole tirade that happens, Ashutosh, again and again, that the courts are bought out, sab bike hue hain ji, sab mile hue hain ji. You know, when you win an election when in Karnataka, Telangana, Himachal Pradesh, then suddenly the institutions don't seem so unfair and the machine seems to work, and suddenly Supreme Court seems to work because he's got bail.
कुछ लोग नहीं मिले हुए हैं अभी भी राहुल कुछ लोग नहीं मिले हुए हैं. See, I'll give a very simple statistics. How the Aam Aadmi Party suddenly becomes very relevant. You look at the Punjab data. Punjab Assembly elections, Aam Aadmi got Assembly elections 24% vote share. 24% vote share, the principal opposition political parties. But when it comes to the parliamentary election, Aam Aadmi Party vote share dips drastically from 24% to 7%. So that means that the people don't think that Aam Aadmi Party is a national alternative in the national election.
No, but in Punjab, the battle is AAP versus Congress. It's a very different battle. They are breaking each other's heads. Punjab is a virtual neighboring state of Delhi. It's very close. And therefore, it's not so easy. It's not as simple as you're making it seem, Ashutosh. There are very serious internal contradictions at play.
Agreed. There are internal contradictions. I'm not denying that. But look at Punjab. Where is BJP? Where is the Akali Dal today? Are they a formidable force? Can they present a serious challenge to the Aam Aadmi Party in the Congress? But then no. Both are fighting for their survival. Despite poaching so many Congress leaders from the Congress, BJP is today almost irrelevant in the Punjab politics.
Okay, you know what I want to do is some scenario building. I want to walk across and basically just one second, stay with me. I want to show you some scenarios which looks at how vote transfers could happen in Delhi. And there's a couple of important points that I'd like you to pick up when you look at this data, because remember, there are very few states where this happens, where there is as massive a transfer as there is in Delhi between people who vote for AAP in an assembly election and the same guys go and vote for the BJP in a Lok Sabha election. And I'll show this. So what you're seeing first is, the vote share of the parties in the Lok Sabha. So you got in Chandni Chowk, if you were to add the BJP is in this dark red color, and AAP and Congress added together are in the purple color. So you see in Chandni Chowk, it's a very tight fight. 47 plays 50. In Northeast Delhi, 48 plays 48. New Delhi, 48 plays 49. 49 plays 49. East Delhi, 49 plays 48. These are four tight battles. So on these four seats, it's a very tight battle. In the other seats, there's a bigger gap. 51 versus 46 in South Delhi, 54 versus 43 in West Delhi, 55 versus 44 in Northwest Delhi. So in these seats, there's still a gap. But if there is a tight fight, the battle becomes far more compelling if Kejriwal's out on the ground than it would be if Arvind Kejriwal was in jail and unable to campaign, because his party doesn't have that kind of ammunition. Now they've got Sanjay Singh who's out, they've got Arvind Kejriwal who's out. But why is it that Manish Sisodia didn't get bail and Arvind Kejriwal did? And what happens to, at least the ED counted 11 prominent politicians, including the likes of Manish Sisodia or Hemant Soren, or even people involved in terror cases who are fighting a Lok Sabha battle, who want to now fight a Lok Sabha election and therefore will ask for bail. So Aryama Sundaram joins us. Aryama Sundaram is one of the country's sharpest legal minds, and on most issues he's hugely bipartisan, and therefore I thought it would be interesting to hear what he has to say about this bail order. Do you find it surprising, given the number of leaders who are in jail, that Arvind Kejriwal has got this bail, whereas various other people have tried for bail in similar circumstances and haven't? Now I want to give you an example. That Amrit Pal Singh character, who's fighting a Lok Sabha election and is currently in jail in Dibrugarh, he is also saying, "Meko bhi bail chahiye." Now Kejriwal's got bail, I'm also fighting an election, please let me out on bail. What do you make, sir, of the Supreme Court's order today? Aryama Sundaram.
Well, I'm not surprised with the order. I'm not surprised with it at all. In fact, if you look at the judgment of the Supreme Court, they're very, very clear on one fact. They say that, look, the argument that you cannot look at the person and you have to have a blanket rule for bail is totally ill-founded. Because whether you like it or not, you do look at the person, you do look at his antecedents, you look at so much. Bail is a personal thing. When a court is deciding whether to grant bail or not, it has to look into these other factors.
I thought they looked only at the factors in the case and not at the personal things, not at the election calendar, not at when polling happens.
No, I don't agree with you at all. On the contrary, when you have a leader of a national party and you're coming up with a Lok Sabha election, which is going to decide the next 5 years, and when you accept that democracy is a basic structure of the Constitution, and when you accept that this is the leader of a national party, then the question of granting not bail, please understand there's a difference between bail and interim bail, comes into play. The bench relied and referred to a judgment of Justice Sanjeev Khanna when he was a judge of the Delhi High Court, where he has very clearly pointed out that interim bail is granted where regular bail cannot be granted, or a bail petition is pending, or a matter is still pending.
Let me ask you this. Why is Kejriwal more worthy of bail than Hemant Soren? Hemant Soren also, why does he look less crooked than Hemant Soren? Why is Hemant Soren more guilty when the case against him also hasn't been completed?
Here it is not a question of deciding on the guilt. The court recognized a few things. One, the court recognized that an investigation which was meant to have started 1.5 years ago has still not reached the stage of framing charges, and that he has been arrested at this juncture when there's a Lok Sabha election. That is a very enormous factor to be taken into consideration. They have gone into the question as to not that the fact of whether he was arrested rightly or wrongly is pending consideration of the Supreme Court. The matter is in the course of hearing of the Supreme Court, and this is in the nature of an interlocutory order pending the decision of the Supreme Court in this matter. So there are a lot of factors at play here and not just one. Without being political about it at all, but being purely bipartisan, let me say one thing. The fact that Arvind Kejriwal went into jail is something I think that he himself invited by ignoring summons. The court has not forgotten that matter. The court specifically referred to it and said this is a ground, this is an important consideration, but said it cannot all be rested on that one consideration. They have to look at the overall picture, and having looked at the overall picture has come to this conclusion. But please understand that Arvind Kejriwal has been let out on interim bail.
No, so let me give you this example, sir. Sir, Amrit Pal Singh has been arrested in April under the National Security Act. He's fighting the 19th Lok Sabha election from Khadur. Why does he not get a bail? Sir, Amrit Pal Singh, a Khalistani terrorist who created all manner of trouble in Punjab, has been detained since April under the National Security Act. He's fighting as an independent from Khadur in Punjab. Why should he not get bail? He'll say, I'm also fighting an election. My case also hasn't been completed.
2 points of difference immediately. You yourself said what he was arrested for, which was an act of terrorism, of national security. That is one important factor to be considered, what he was. Secondly, he was fighting as a candidate in an election. Now, in the case of Mr. Kejriwal, he is not out as a candidate in an election. He is a person who's a leader of a national party. And that national party is at the hustings. And he is not standing there as an independent for his own election.
But neither is Hemant Soren. I'm just trying to understand from you, sir. But neither is Jharkhand Chief Minister Hemant Soren. Why shouldn't Hemant Soren get bail on the same basis?
So has he applied for interim bail immediately on this basis?
He will, I'm sure. His lawyers, I'm sure, are looking at what happened in court. He will apply.
Has he applied?
Then what? No. So, okay, assume for a moment, Arya Masundram, assume for a moment that Hemant Soren applies for bail on exactly the same basis. How do you deny him bail?
Shall I tell you the whole difference?
Yes.
Shall I tell you the whole difference?
Go on, sir.
In Mr. Kejriwal's case, he is challenging his very arrest. He is not challenging an order refusing him bail. He is not challenging an order under Section 7045 of the PMLA Act, refusing him bail and that. He's challenging the very basis of his arrest. That the Supreme Court has seen fit to grant leave and hear the case as to whether his very arrest was legally founded or not. This is not a mere case of an appeal against refusal of bail. So please understand that different cases stand legally on different status. If you're asking a question, is this unprecedented? My answer is no. It may be unprecedented that a political leader in a given situation, but is it unprecedented to grant an interim bail when a regular bail cannot be granted at that time? Answer is yes, it can be granted. And that was the Delhi High Court judgment of Justice Sanjeev Khanna in the High Court, which the Supreme Court itself referred to. In fact, it recognized that interim bail is often given in a situation where a regular bail cannot be granted at that juncture. And in this case, the Supreme Court recognized that this is a case, the main case is pending decision of the Supreme Court. Arguments are going on, and this is an interim order in a matter challenging his very arrest.
Sure.
So please do not compare the two. They are not comparable.
But soon there will be. Soon there will be a whole plethora of cases where leaders who are in jail, all manner of people will rush with the same plea. And it will be interesting to see what happens then. But Arya Masundram,
it will be very interesting, and let's see what happens then.
It will.
But as the court very clearly said, they'd have to take the fact situation in each case and what it is.
Arya Masundram, for joining us. Thank you very much. Really appreciate your thoughts. I'm slipping into a quick break. We are expecting more live images from the Delhi Chief Minister's residence. This is a big moment in this election. Make no mistake, no matter what your political affiliation, this is a critical moment in this assembly election, in this Lok Sabha election, especially in Delhi, in Punjab and Haryana, where polls are still due. And these are seats where the BJP was hoping to do well, particularly in Delhi and Haryana, and make some inroads into Punjab. How does Kejriwal's release impact that? We'll continue our coverage when we come back from the other side. Stay with us back in time.